Hey YouTube, it's ShryphonX here. Today we're going to be talking about Kagurabachi Chapter 98. Like and subscribe for more content. Did Kagurabachi become Jujutsu Kaisen? Kagurabachi Chapter 98. The return of Hagiwara, captain of the anti-cloud Gouger Special Forces, reveals a new layer to the sorcery power system that should remind fans of one of Kagurabachi's inspirations. In the previous Kagurabachi chapter, we learned that one of the Hishaku is disrupting the barrier to keep Chihiro and Samira away, while Azumi prepares for the fight of his life against Yura. Kagurabachi chapter 98 is titled, The Incompetent Captain, Hagiwara Ikudo. This chapter has 19 pages. Editor's note: if you too thought, wait, who were these people again? Go and reread Volume 2. The chapter begins with a flashback to some old faces. We meet again Ikudo Hagiwara, the captain of the Kamiyanabe's anti-cloud Gouger Special Forces, which was sent against Sojo in the first arc of the series. We see flying black magnetite sand floating out of Hagiwara's hand. Hagiwara explains his sorcery, Jikai, which allows him to control magnetism and control the movements of everyone freely when they are in midair. Shiumi Haruma is excited by the idea of flying. Hagiwara promises not to let any hit get through to them. Shiumi notes that if their captain is defeated, the whole squad is in trouble, so everyone should go down together instead. Therefore, Hagiwara declares that he will protect the squad, whose lives are in his hands. That did not exactly pan out well. We cut to the present, with Hagiwara, who grew a very slight stubble, wake up after recovering from the fight against Sojo weeks ago. Hagiwara is still racked with guilt in losing nearly all of his squad, except for Kagura, who is somehow alive in the form of his mask, moved by Hagiwara's black sand. Kagura is annoyed by Hagiwara still dwelling on the traumatic loss of his team and tells him to help the Kamiyanabe in their fight against the Hishaku. Hagiwara still thinks he is too incompetent and would rather sleep in bed as an invalid. However, the other Kamiyanabe think that Hagiwara is talking to himself. Kagura is a ghost produced by his trauma, having lost people he has known for over 10 years, but especially Kagura, who was his childhood friend since he was 5 years old. Although aware of Kagura's death, Hagiwara was using his sorcery to make the mask move subconsciously, acting as a conscience. Hagiwara's bed is covered in iron sand because he placed that on the uniforms of his team as a way to feel safe and feel like they are still with him. Kagura's ghost calls out Hagiwara for not eating and tells him that starving is no way to go out, that he should die fighting. Hagiwara says he is not required to fight, as there are more competent people than himself. Suddenly, we get the announcement from the last chapter regarding the order for non-combatants to head to level 3 and below, while combatants must kill every Hishaku to find the host that is currently controlling the barrier. Hagiwara steps into the Kamage Kamiyanabe's face-off against the Jin Hishaku, Bingo, and Uran, declaring that he will dedicate his fight to his 4 deceased comrades. He is suddenly frozen by Uran, and Bingo's Mako head prepares to chomp on him. However, Hagiwara blocks the bite with his iron sand, and it also breaks the ice. We recall where Hagiwara ended his story in the Versus Sojo arc, but here we see that as Hagiwara falls into the ocean crushed under a rock, a hand extends itself. We see another flashback, this time of a doctor explaining Hagiwara's unique condition, with the doctor revealing that Hagiwara assumed a human hand was helping him up as he drowned in the ocean and that it belonged to Kagura. It was clear from his circumstances that Hagiwara was able to lift himself up to shore, but by this point, he had lost his mind, and so he treated the moving of Kagura's mask as if it was Kagura still alive, in spite of how Hagiwara totally acknowledges his comrades' deaths. Hagiwara now treats his own sorcery as if it belonged to someone else in the first place, would be the very definition of having reached a state of ultimate unconsciousness. This moment, of spirit energy flowing out individually away from one's consciousness to develop its own, is akin to Jujutsu Kaisen's concept of cursed energy, resulting in the creation of curses. The most prominent example of this was when Yuta Okatsu cursed his childhood love, Rika, and after freeing her, he created a Shikigami, a cursed spirit that holds his curse technique, copy. However, Hagiwara collapses, his body feeling heavy from the strain and just after recovering mentally. Upon hearing the announcement of an enemy barrier keeper vessel, Hagiwara makes use of a different application of his power, MRI scanning. Magnetic resonance imaging, also known as an MRI, is a piece of technology that applies a powerful magnetic field to the human body, utilizing its magnetic properties and gaining vital, visualized information through that. This quite fits Hagiwara's abilities as he can control the magnetic spectrum, and so he applies an MRI scan throughout the entire body to visualize the insides of every body in the area. He finally spots the Hishaku who bears the barrier scroll, and Kagura's spirit goes after him, stabbing through the young man Hishaku, who proclaimed in the last chapter that he will make Yura the king of Japan. Editor's note: an instant kill. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe for more content. ShryphonX out.